Good morning, everyone. Before we get started, just a few things of housekeeping. First and foremost, please do not click the share screen button or the button on the bottom of your screen, because when you do, you take away my picture and you show what's on your computer. So please don't do that. Second of all, you're going to notice that we have muted or attempted to mute everyone so that we're not picking up a lot of background noises and things that are going on at your home. We're also not using cameras. We also have found that sometimes people have video cams and don't realize that they have them. And our very first experience with that, we saw something at someone's house that they would just die of embarrassment if they knew that everyone had seen. So we've also chosen not to do that. I mentioned that everyone is muted, but we do want you to be sure and ask questions, and that's very important. We want to answer those, and that's what this meeting is all about. So the way that we're going to do that is we are going to chat those. And if you look on the top of your screen, and normally it's kind of on the right-hand side, there's a little bubble-looking thing. I liken it to a cartoon. When people are saying something in a cartoon, the words are in a little bubble that has kind of a little point that goes down toward their mouth. So if you click on that, and it'll drop down a place, and you type, and then you can either just hit enter or hit send, and that will come here. You can do that at any time throughout the program because it doesn't pop up for anyone else to see. When we read those at the end and answer those questions, we're not going to say who's asking the question. We'll simply read the question, and then one of our panel presenters will address those questions. So please be sure and send those. Also, we have a nice turnout, and again, I want to thank all of you for your time this morning. You're probably seeing a little box that has a bunch of A, 1, 2, 3, and on up. You can easily get rid of that by going to the top middle of your screen, and you should be able, and it may be like that, but if it is showing people, then you would want to hide attendees, and that will get rid of that box so that it's not covering up your screen as we move on. So I think that is all of our housekeeping things today. We're going to have an informational presentation produced and hosted by Please Go Away Vacations for the benefit of our travelers. And our presentation is Travel and COVID-19 Now and in the Future. I'm Paula Oxman, and we'll hear from Larry shortly. Just a few things about why we're here today. When the pandemic hit, our agency had travelers with paid reservations to travel in 2020 to 6 of the 7 continents. These travelers resided in 16 states and represented 53 Kansas cities. And that's not to say that there was like one in each one, because we had a lot of areas that there were many people residing in the same city. This represented several hundreds of travelers that had their plans canceled, either by their choice because they were concerned about travel, or most often it was by cruise lines and tour operators that had determined that it wasn't safe. So during that time, our offices kept our staff fully here. For a while, we were behind closed doors when the Kansas had the lockdown and everything, and we were staying very busy negotiating refunds and future travel or cruise credits, trying to get insurance credits, and for the vast majority of our travelers, we were rebooking for 2021. I thought it was interesting at times when I would be out in Walmart getting groceries on occasion, although I've gotten very good at ordering, and I don't know that I'll ever get back to going to Walmart every week. I would have people and friends ask me, well, how are you still working? You're not essential. How could you be essential? And I always responded with the same answer. you ask our clients if we're essential. The United States State Department has lowered the travel warning to a level 3 for many places. Countries and states are opening back up for travel, and cruise lines are talking that they'll be sailing again in the very near future. So I'm sure all of you are anxious to get back to traveling just like we are, and we all have the same concerns. Is it safe? And what are the tour companies and cruise lines going to be doing to assure that it's safe for us to travel again? So during this time, we have met with different online tour operators, and our friends at Mayflower, which you're going to meet them here shortly, had contacted us and had discussed the possibility of coming out and meeting with us to see how we could all move on in selling travel. Well, it was decided at some point that probably at this point in time, a virtual presentation would be the best plan. So as our team does every morning, we brainstorm and there's an idea and we build on it. So what you're attending today is the result of that, and it went from doing a Mayflower show to also discussing a series of 4, because there's different tour operators that are our preferreds, cruise lines and different ones, and we all have different procedures as to determine. So that's what we're here for today. So as I mentioned before, please do send in your questions so that we can get those answered for you. So Larry, I'd like to introduce you and let you say a few words and then let you introduce our guests, if you would, please.
Thank you, Paula, and good morning, everyone. We're delighted that you give us of your time, as Paula has already indicated. As she also has indicated, we are here to serve, and primarily today we are here to inform, not by virtue of our comments, but by virtue of travel and cruise industry representatives. As Paula mentioned, we had a series of meetings scheduled. In fact, they will cover the next 4 months, concluding in January, and we will be featuring 4 different truly leading cruise and travel industry leading companies in each one of those meetings. They will be each different in content because, as Paula has mentioned, the different companies represent and do different areas of the world. They have different imprint. And quite honestly, nobody knows the answer as to when we're going to be able to travel again. But the good companies out there, the ones that don't want anybody to travel, ourselves included, until it is determined that it is safe to do so, are the ones who are also at the same time studying new protocols, coming up with ways to assure that all of our passengers will be safe as the time does come forward. And we determined that we had the considerations of selection, and we chose the industries that we truly have come to trust over our more than 50 years in the travel industry. We're delighted today that we're going to kick off this series with Mayflower Cruises and Tours, and we're going to come to find that they are truly more than just cruises and tours, because they are part of the Scenic Group, which gives them a worldwide imprint of influence and product line, but at the same time also indicates that they are aware of things that are going throughout the world. We had unlimited choices. We represent, or have the capability of representing, everything that one sees advertised or promoted anywhere in the way of a travel product or travel content, travel company, but we chose Mayflower. So I'm delighted today to introduce to you a gentleman that we've come to work closely with over the years, the Director of Group Sales in the Central and Mountain region of Mayflower Cruises and Tours. You see his picture there, Matt Greenwald. So Matt, I'm going to turn the program over to you, and then you in turn, I'm sure, have some comments, and will in turn introduce Nancy. So Matt, good morning, sir. The program is yours.
Good morning. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Paula. And hope everyone's doing well. Happy Tuesday. As Larry mentioned, my name is Matt Greenwald, and I have And just delighted to be here because we are focused on the future. And that's what it's all about as we sort of dream today, discover tomorrow. We know that the discovering portion will come, and we're very much ready for that to develop. But thank you so much. I just want to take a second to really thank Paula and Larry and the staff for what they've done for us, just sort of aligning with our goals of looking forward and focusing on the future and being ready, because we have to have a plan. And ultimately, we hope everyone is safe and healthy and your families are safe and healthy. But gosh, that pent up travel demand that I have myself, I know it's out there with everybody, and we will be ready. And that's why we're planning ahead, because as we focus on our company, Mayflower, and our great partners, like Please Go Away Vacations, we really want to look at that demand is going to mean less space available. So if we don't have a plan for the future and we don't have something picked out, or maybe our next 3 or 4 trips picked out, then it might be tough to get on. So very excited. I know we're already almost in November, which is crazy. So we have the holidays coming up, and then all of a sudden it's going to be a new year. And that's our focus at Mayflower. So as Larry mentioned, I am the director of group sales for the Central region, and I live out in Denver, Colorado. Our company is based in Lisle, Illinois, outside of Chicago. So we are a Midwestern company, and that's what I love about working with our groups in the Midwest. So very excited. Thank you for everything. Hopefully everyone is safe and healthy. And that's really it from me. I'm delighted again to be here with Larry and Paula as my good friends. Gosh, we go back a few years working together, and I just love their approach, and I love what they do for you, and we align really well. So thank you for the opportunity. You know, as a company, we're full speed ahead. We still have our full sales staff. In fact, we're hiring more in other states around the country because we want to be ready for the future. And Nancy will kind of give you that history and kind of what we're doing to build new ships and new brands. And as Larry mentioned, we have everything around the world. So we're global, we're ready, we're looking forward to the future, but excited to be here. As I mentioned, our sales staff is still here full speed ahead because we cover all 50 states, and we're very excited. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you Nancy Kreischer, who is our business development manager. She also lives in the Denver area. I'll let her give the introduction, but she works one-on-one closely with Larry and Paula. So thank you to everyone. Thank you for allowing us to be here, and we're excited to plan the future. Nancy?
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone. Good morning. I am really pleased to be here. I want to give a huge thank you to Paula and Larry and their staff for hosting this morning. We're very excited to be working with them. We treasure their relationship as well as their relationship with you. I do want to mention that all of the agents that I work with, Larry and Paula, have to be at the top as far as hardworking and planning, looking to the future, protecting their customers. So you're very lucky to have a relationship with them, and I hope that you would treasure that. There have been so many agents that have just kind of taken their phone off the hook and not done anything through this whole pandemic. So again, you're very lucky to have the relationship with Paula and Larry because they are going to see to your best interest. Matt and I both live in Colorado, as he mentioned, and between the two of us, we have over 25 years of experience in the travel industry. So if we don't know the answer, we'll get it for you. Here's a brief history of our company. We started in 1979. Mayflower is just a small Midwestern business, and we were bought in 2018 by, as Larry said, the Scenic Group. You can see back in 1986 is when the Scenic Group started, and then following along this timeline, you can see when Glenn added other brands. The two we're most excited about, especially during this pandemic, are the Eclipse, which that ship is a 6-star polar expedition ship, and that launched in 2019. Again, 6 stars. It is luxury at its finest, and it does both the polar regions and the Northern Europe and the Mediterranean. We cut the steel on the Eclipse 2 this summer during the pandemic, and we're very pleased that that is on schedule. The next one, the Emerald Yacht Cruises, I'm really excited about because I have several groups on this one already. That one will launch late next year. It's the Emerald Azura, and it is a 50-cabin super yacht. So it can go into the coastal waters where the bigger cruise ships can't go. And so we're excited to see the ports that this will go to. This one will concentrate on the Mediterranean, the Adriatic, and the Red Seas. So why Mayflower? Well, traveling is a time of pleasure, and it's filled with your must-see and must-do experiences. So at Mayflower Cruises and Tours, we understand that you expect your holiday to include all these memorable attractions, the touring opportunities, and the highlights, and all provided in comfort and to your satisfaction. We are a member of all these professional organizations. They all demand a level of professionalism and their high standards and business practices that we have to adhere to in order to be a member. USTOA, that chief goal is to help protect your money against loss and then provide you with peace of mind that protects your vacation investment. So if you think of USTOA kind of like the FDIC in the banking world, you wouldn't want to put your money in a bank that's not FDIC insured. So you don't want to travel with a tour operator that is not USTOA. These organizations all help to protect the consumer, and by working with Larry and Paula, you will have that assurance. Through this pandemic, I have heard over and over again from agents who have gotten calls from passengers that booked their trip on online sites. And then when their trips got canceled, many of these people called local agents to help them get their money back because, you know, on an online site, you're lucky to get even anyone to answer the phone. But the problem is, if an agent didn't make your reservation, they don't technically own your reservation. And if they don't own your reservation, they can't change it or speak for you. So that's why you always want to use a trusted agency like Please Go Away Vacations, who work with reputable companies like Mayflower. So what are we doing to ensure the safety of our passengers? Well, there's three things mainly. We have enhanced screening, responsible social distancing, and a commitment to clean. As far as enhanced screening, we are going to be implementing new tour check-in procedures and pre-trip health screenings to ensure travelers a safe start to their tour. So you might be asked to sign off on a few basic COVID-19 related questions before joining the tour. We have touchless temperature checks for both travelers and staff. That'll be done at the start of the tour, as well as monitoring through the tour. Mayflower will endeavor to practice safe distancing for our guests throughout the journey on coaches and during excursions. Travelers are encouraged to bring their own washable face masks. However, we'll always have additional face masks and hand sanitizer made available. Masks will be used by travelers and staffs alike at any time where social proximity is an issue. Group sizes will abide by social distancing guidelines, and we will have wireless listening technology for many of our tours to help keep those safe differences between travelers on excursions. As part of our commitment to clean, we are requiring enhanced cleaning and sanitizing procedures from our hotel partners and motor coach companies. Additionally, we are reassured with the knowledge that our airline partners are taking very stringent measures for passenger safety. As you can see from a lot of the news recently, they are showing how clean the airplanes are. Your directors will be trained in new and enhanced hygiene procedures, and they will be in constant contact with Mayflower's operations support team for added reassurance. The disinfecting and hand sanitizing procedures that we and our travel partners are implementing meet or exceed those recommended by the CDC. In order to maintain the cleanliness during the tour, we are minimizing the amount of contact points for our travelers by revising the way meals, coach seating, hotel check-in, and other activities are carried out. We will also have hand sanitizers available throughout the tour. We will continue to review and update our safety protocols following the standards set forth by travel and health agencies across the globe, including the European Center for Disease Prevention, the CDC, the World Health Organization, CLIA, which is the Cruise Lines International Association, and the USTOA. By working with Please Go Away Vacations, you are guaranteed to have a vacation without worries and where every detail has been taken care of. You'll always get a real person when you contact us, whether it's Larry or Paula, one of their staff agents here at the agency. We make sure that your questions are answered and the details of the holiday are fully explained. Travelers are kept up to date on any revisions that may occur. This communication is in place pre-tour, while on tour, and for any post-tour dialogue. So working with Please Go Away Vacations is key to keeping that communication link in place. And like I said before, we greatly appreciate all they do in preparing you for your trip. Behind Please Go Away Vacation, you see a very experienced staff here at Mayflower Cruises and Tours. Again, we will see to every detail, and we are available for all your needs door to door. This all comes out to what we call the Mayflower experience, bringing you value and service with our local partners, Please Go Away Vacations. Lastly, I would like to add that, just like Matt said, that during the pandemic, we have stayed fully employed. We've been keeping our sales team working and planning for a busy 21 and 22. We've continued to build 3 new ships, training our staff, and we're getting ready to welcome you back to travel. So I'll turn it back over to you, Larry and Paula.
Thank you, Nancy. A lot of good information there. We're finding that there is a huge pent-up demand for travel, and Larry is our statistics person, and he has some very interesting statistics to share with us today.
Well, as Paula has indicated, and before I say anything, I want to say thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate your insight and especially what your company is doing to assure the safety to the best of everyone's capability when and if we are able to travel again. Not if, we will, but if is going to be a time that we don't know when that's going to take place. So I do like statistics, and I like to check surveys that are done industry-wide. And there was a recent study done by the Institute for the Applied Positive Research Institute, and they found the following facts relative to travel. 97% of the respondents to the survey said that having a trip planned makes them happier. 95% said knowing there was something to look forward to brings them joy. 80% indicate planning for travel sometime in the next 6 months would bring them happiness. 74% indicate planning something makes them feel more in control amidst so much uncertainty, such as we are experiencing right now with pandemic, a situation we've never seen before. And 96% of the survey respondents opined that getting to travel and feeling safe while doing so would bring peace of mind. So that's the reason that it's good to look forward to travel. But there's another survey that I think is even more telling as to why we need to be doing the concept of dreaming now, planning now, traveling later, that Paula will get into in greater detail in a few minutes. A Back to Normal survey conducted by the Sports and Leisure Research Group asked the question, if the pandemic suddenly ended tomorrow, what one large discretionary purchase would you make? And would you believe? Travel won by a landslide by more than 2 to 1. Coming in at a distant second space would be below the 46% that they indicated they wanted to do travel. Below that came in the next level at only 20%, travel being more than 2 to 1. In second place, the major discretionary purchase would be remodeling their home. And surprisingly, in a distant third place, purchasing a new vehicle was 19% of those answering. So, ladies and gentlemen, traveling is an important part of our life. It's a way that we reward ourselves and we create memories that are made and shared and that are never forgotten. So, Paula, I'm going to turn it back over to you now as we begin to wrap up this program. And again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Dream now, plan now, and travel later. During the last several months, many of the persons in the travel industry started using this slogan, and everyone has kind of pretty much bought into this. As we got into it, and as I mentioned before, we were rebooking a lot of our travelers for travel in 2021. We realized that we wanted to transition into dream now, plan now, and travel later. And I'm sure that you're thinking, well, why is that necessary? Well, what we're finding is that airlines canceled a lot of their flights that are still not flying. There's fewer flights between cities. A lot of the companies are planning to, as Nancy mentioned, social distance on buses, which means bus tours are not going to be filling every seat. Cruise lines are making talks about kind of limiting some of their numbers and as they get started. So what we're finding is that there is much more demand as we go forward than what there is supply. So there are a couple of ways that Please Go Away Vacations can assist you in planning now for the future. The first one is our As You Like It travel division. And you're probably wondering, well, what is As You Like It? This is travel that provides you a lot of flexibility. You pretty much pick and choose what you want to do, when you want to go. You choose dates. Sometimes our feature tours maybe don't fit into the time of year that you need to travel. You can include the things that you want to. If you want to drive to your destination, you can do that. So if you don't want to do air, if although we wouldn't recommend it, if you didn't want to purchase travel protection, transfers, additional sightseeing, things of that nature, you make that determination. You go on your own, meaning that you don't have the assistance of a personal host or hostess. With this more individual travel program, you should be aware that deposits are often non-refundable. Rules are different for groups than sometimes normally than when you go on your own. So we're not saying that you need to travel now, just that you should plan now. We are very honest with our travelers. We've been approached by some people in the last couple of weeks looking for honeymoons and things of that nature that would fall within our As You Like It. St. Thomas, San Juan, Mexican destinations. So we do provide a quote, but we also go and do research and provide them with the restrictions. So now is not the time to go online and purchase things and not have any clue as to what the rules are. As I mentioned, with these quotes, we followed up with the U.S. State Department level of advisory for those countries, the requirements. Some places are requiring that you have insurance. Some of them require that you pre-register online prior to landing in that destination. Many places are requiring that you arrive with a negative COVID test. If you don't, you're either denied entry or forced to pay a huge amount to get a test on site. You do not want to deal with, as Nancy mentioned earlier, the unknown entity on the internet that you can't reach, or some of these so-called travel agents that we're seeing popping up in the pyramid schemes that are going around nowadays. You need to be sure and deal with someone reputable. that's here for you before to provide information during and after should there be any challenges. And last but not least, in that subject, even though I mentioned you had an option with travel insurance, it's not the time that you should forego having travel protection. The second way that Please Go Away Vacations can help you is with a feature tour.
Hang on, everyone. I think Paula's just trying to get back on.
Okay, I apologize. I think we had a little glitch there with the sound. So the second way that Please Go Away Vacations can assist you is with our featured travel. And a featured travel program starts with a basic tour program, such as with Mayflower Cruises and Tours. And from there, we, based upon our experience of having been to all of these places, having traveled for, not me personally, but the agency has been in business traveling for over 54 years. We've found a lot of special meals and sightseeing and things that we feel makes it an extra special tour. So we add these things, some things that you normally purchase extra air, travel insurance, transfers, all those kinds of things. We include a personal host or hostess that's always present. And on top of that, on all of our feature tours, there is a 100% refund guarantee date that you're not jeopardizing your money and that you can always get your money back. So that makes a feature tour. So we have some that we have put together using the basic Mayflower Cruises and Tours programs. And so we'll just kind of go through some of the details of these and tell you why they're extra special. And to do that with us is Larry. Larry, are you still able to hear us? Okay, then I'll just go right on. Here's one that I personally will have the privilege of hostessing. Alaska's Northern Lights and Iditarod, the last great race. Not only are we going to be able to see the beginning of the Iditarod and up close and see the dogs, but we're going to have the added benefit of spending some time in Fairbanks in search of the Northern Lights, which is in itself special. So two very special things here that we'll be doing. one of the things that we'll be doing is to, the mushers have a banquet on the night before they start, and we're going to have the privilege of being there. I noticed on the TV this morning on news they were talking about some northern lights in Finland, and showed some beautiful pictures that made me that much more anxious to go. This is going to be a president's tour that I'm hoping to each year going forward do something that's on my bucket list, and this is the first one. And this is one of our See the USA with Please Go Away as we kind of move towards doing more things within the states. The next one that we have done is taken a basic Niagara Falls and Eastern Canada tour, again with Mayflower, and we have added some extra things to this so that it will also be a feature tour. It's going to have a Please Go Away Vacations host or hostess, and again the 100% refund guarantee is in place so that you can go and enjoy this. You can plan while there's still space and not be concerned about losing money. So time will be spent in Niagara Falls as well as doing some of the local things nearby. Sounds like I'm going to be gone a lot next year because I'm also going to be doing In Search of the Big Five, the Africa Safari. This is one that was actually scheduled for this year, and everyone moved over, and we'll be doing that in 2021. There's a map, and it shows you that we're going to be doing a fairly big area as we hope to see the Great Migration shown on the right picture. I mentioned earlier about features being included, and this one has a very special feature that I'm very excited about, and that's going to be doing the hot air balloon. That's something that when you go to the Serengeti and look for the animals is extra special, so you don't ever want to go to that destination and forego that. People sometimes wonder about the accommodations, and the bottom right one is one of the accommodations and places that we'll be staying. Although we're out in the middle of nowhere, the accommodations are very, very wonderful. Last but not least is the Best of Yellowstone in the winter. That goes at the beginning of 2022. Again, because these tours are quite limited, this is something that you don't want to delay if you're wanting to think about doing this, because spaces do fill fast, because many of the things that you'll be doing, you see a snow coach here on this picture, and as you can see, spaces are fairly limited there. So if you're thinking about doing this, 100% refund guarantee is in place. So those are things that you should be making. And again, this is going along with our See the USA with Please Go Away. Now let's go back, and it looks like we have some questions here. Okay, we have, I'll just kind of go through these. And this is a comment, probably Nancy and Matt, if you guys want to address this. There are more COVID-19 cases now overseas. Is that a problem to be able to travel? I know that you guys have departments that are on top of all that. You have some insight into what you're thinking there.
Yeah, I can address that. Obviously, we don't know what is in the future, and when a trip comes up for, if you go overseas, we will abide by whatever is taking place in that country. So if there is a ban on Americans to come into that country, obviously we don't travel. As time goes on, it's an ever-changing situation, and we'll do whatever all of the leading health organizations ask us to do. we will not travel until it is safe. And we are very hopeful that things turn around with this vaccine coming out soon. And um, we will always put the safety of our passengers first.
Okay, thank you. The next one is that someone said they signed on just a little bit late and they didn't catch the part about the connection between Mayflower and Scenic family.
Oh, okay. Yes, so Scenic bought us in 2018. We went from a very small tour operator in the Midwest to booming international tour operator now. And we have access to our own ships. Our owner has invested a great deal of money to help us grow, and we're just busting at the seams, ready for travel for 21 and 22.
Okay. What countries do you travel to?
Is that for us or for you?
I would assume for you, because I think that we let our clients all pretty much know where we go.
Yes, we travel to every country. We have trips to the Asia, to the Far East, to both polar regions. Obviously, we go all over on the river cruises with Scenic and Emerald Waterways. And we go to Russia and India and Japan. I can't think of a country that we don't hit.
Okay, good. And I remember an Antarctica flyer, I think, correct?
Yes, we have Antarctica on the Eclipse, which is that 6-star polar expedition ship I showed the picture in the beginning. That's only 100 cabins, so it's a smaller ship. It has 2 helicopters and a submarine on it for excursions, which makes it really cool, and a butler for every cabin, so it is very luxurious. That is definitely a bucket list trip. We have South America cruising and trips. We go to Costa Rica. We have Panama, just everywhere. Egypt, Africa.
Wonderful. Yeah, you do cover the world.
Yes, we cover
the next question that I see here, we'll go back, but this one is also, I think, one directed toward Mayflower, Nancy. So, does a pre-trip health screening include a negative COVID test?
Well, I think our protocol is going to be based on the destination. So if the country demands that you come in with a negative test result, that is something we will ask the passengers to comply with. I think some of the trend right now is for rapid testing, perhaps at the arriving airport. At least that's what I'm seeing with a lot of travel to the Caribbean and to Mexico right now. And then there's some countries that don't require anything anymore. So I think it will depend on the destination that you're going to and what the current protocol is.
Okay, great. Someone is asking us that they saw a tour in a magazine and they're wondering if we could assist them in making a reservation as part of our As You Like It. And then someone else has said, is there a cost to do that? So I'm going to kind of answer all that together. First of all, if you see something advertised in a magazine, online, on TV or whatever, we can certainly take a look and we can assist you with it. We have access to all major operators. The key thing is that if it's reputable, if there's any questions or if there's rumors in the industry of there not being a financial stability there, we're going to be very honest and tell people that it's not something we recommend, or something online that isn't a member of the organization such as Nancy talked about. We don't deal with those kinds of companies, but we're going to be very honest and provide that information. Is there a cost for our services? No. The tour operators such as Mayflower that we work with pay us a commission to sell their products to our clients, and therefore there is not an additional cost. So oftentimes it's beneficial because we do work with some of the college alumni associations that have negotiated to get a small discount for their membership, so we can normally find the same price. And if you're affiliated with one of our partnering organizations, then that can be beneficial as far as the discount. So I think I don't see, one more came in. Not interested in Yellowstone in the winter, but perhaps in the summer, maybe interested in groups. So that's always a possibility. We like to get feedback and suggestions from clients. So as we move forward and start to plan for the next year or two, meaning beyond 21, because 21 is already pretty much settled, we'll certainly take that into consideration. So again, thank you for all those questions. So I also, although they're not participating today and doing our presentation, it's always kind of nice to put a face with the voice. If you call our office, you probably are going to get one of our other team members, Nadine Jones, and I'll just go left to right. So Nadine Jones, Mary Rickey, and Hannah Lori Kitts. So that's the rest of our team that works with Larry and I, and we all pretty much deal with all of our clients and look forward to meeting and traveling with all of you. So now the reason you're all here, I'm sure, is for our big expensive travel prizes. So I'm going to draw these. The girls have brought a box with all of the names of people reserved. So you might spot your chat box because I think you do have to be present to win. So I'm going to call the names and then just real quickly send me a chat that you're here. Or if we don't hear from you very quickly, then we will move on and draw someone else. So our first gift is compliments of Mayflower Cruises and Tours, and it is a Starbucks gift card. And our winner is Howard Gunkel. So Howard, if you're on, because I can't see the list and the chat box at the same time, so I'm going to watch the chat box and you very quickly send us that you're here. And I'll go ahead and pull the other two, which are for a $25 gift card each. And the first one is Carol Pettigene. And the second one is Dan Schmidt. So very quickly send us a chat that you're here. Okay, it looks like everybody, looks like that's perfect. They're all logged in, so we're good. So again, thank you all very much for your time. If there's anything that you have questions about, we have recorded our presentation, so if you would like to have a copy for your spouse or to share with a friend or something, let us know, and we'll be happy to get that to you. You can always contact us at any time. Please Go Away Vacations, small town caring worldwide since 1966. We're at 1600 Main Street, Suite A in Great Bend. Always email us anytime, answers at travelpleasegoaway.com, or call us at 800-362-9347. Thank you and have a good day.